Welcome back to my studio. I am working on a painting of Deer Valley, Utah. This is Jordan Lake, so now we're painting this. The lake almost appears silver at this time of day because the sky is reflecting down into it, and so I'm working on that. I'm using mixes of ultramarine blue plus white plus a tiny bit of my mud. And my mud, if you've not heard me before, the mud is 2 parts of ultramarine blue and 1 part of alizarin crimson. So I've already painted my distant hills and mountain back there. So now I just come back in and carefully add this in here. The hills in the distance are bluer. The coolness of the blue makes them recede. Go back. The warmer colors in here, these are mixtures of phthalo blue and cadmium orange and white. All of these colors are those same 3 colors combinations. It's just in various proportions. And so that's a little bit warmer, and so that comes forward. The light really just glows back here. And this will bring your eye back. This will really draw the viewer into the painting, is this light back here. This is almost pure white, where that sun's just glistening on that water there in the distance. My paint's still dry, I'm getting tongue twisted here. My paint is still wet. It has not dried yet, so I can come back then and work my mountain over that. I also showed you my color mixtures in the very beginning. I have that all laid out on my palette, so I can go back in and paint over areas that I need to. Get that most distant part of the lake back there, and then as we start coming forward, as the sky comes overhead, if you'll observe on a really bright sunny day, that bright blue sky, as the dome of the sky comes overhead, it gets darker. And so consequently, this water up here will be a little bit darker because that sky is reflecting down into the water. So I'm using a little darker mixture of that same combination. Again, the white plus the ultramarine blue plus just a tiny bit of the mud. Just start bringing that color forward. And this water's so far away, so you really won't have much texture on it. Pretty well it's just a mirror reflecting that sky up above. I'll bring some of my lighter mix over this just to make that transition just not quite as abrupt. My collector Dana said it just looks like silver out there, the lake does. A bright sunny day. This will really, the hills here are then going to be covered with fall foliage. This part of the landscape is down lower and in the distance, so I'll use a lot of these mixtures. But then as we get into this hill, then I'll add more of the fall foliage colors. Work around my leaves. Now the leaves are not finished. I'll come back in and paint more on those, but again, I just want this to be smooth. Now I guess I get over here where it's not quite so much detail in and around those little peninsulas of land. Then I can use a little bit bigger brush. I wipe my brush quite a bit. I use a lot of tissue paper, toilet paper, I guess I should say. And that's the secret to nice clean, crisp colors in your paintings is a clean brush. A little more light coming in here. It'll get darker as we come over here. And there's really, the banks don't really reflect down much into the lake. This house is up so high that we're looking more down on the lake, where we really don't see the reflections of the land down into it. Now to get that smooth, let me do work around this and then I'll show you. Around my post. I've also saved the colors of my pillars there for the pergola, because then I can come back in and fix those. I can pull that line straight. But there's just little indentations along the coast here of the lake. Now I'm going to take my bigger brush and just pull this. I've cleaned it out. I just pull this across. So that just makes that transition pretty smooth. Bring a little more light right in here. There we go. I'm starting to work now on my distant hill below this bluff. And I'm even bringing some of the blues from the water into this to make it drop down. And then the warmer colors on this part of the hill will make it come forward. And I use a little bit of the warm colors in here just to give the feel of that there's fall color down in there. But I want that part of the land that's way down low, I want that to be bluer and cooler so that this will recede back into the distance. That's that's at the bottom of the hill, far away. And we just want that to settle down in there below this bluff. I'm bringing again some more of those blues in here. That's a pretty flat basin down there, down in the valley. This hill comes up a little bit higher. There's some darker trees on this. I'm going to bring some of my bluer colors down here because that's kind of behind that little bluff coming over. There's a hill right here, and then this flat layer of land goes around the base of it. It's just a matter of working back and forth. Give a little feeling of trees there. And then there will be a little color into this hill, a little bit more, because it's coming closer. So we have some of the fall. We've got evergreens in there, and then we also have then the deciduous trees that have the color. Just working colors back and forth. It's a little brighter than what I'd like. I want to save my brighter colors for up in here. These are cadmium yellow plus a little mud. Darker in here. Again, I can use my color from the pillars. This is, I've got my wood colors here. And this is my mud plus cadmium orange plus white. I can just go and fix that. So that's how I paint the lake and this distant valley. I'll then show you, have another video where I'll show you as I paint this hill. So thank you for following along. Please visit my blog. The link is in the description below. And you just have a wonderful day and come watch part 2.